Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and in today's episode, I'll be getting to know Michael Sanchez, who's a senior paid traffic manager at Unstoppable Entrepreneur. So, Michael, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you being here. And out of interest, whereabouts are you in the world right now?
So I'm in the U.S. I'm actually in Florida, Southwest
Mhm.
Florida area. So very, very hot,
I
and
bet.
we're starting to rain every single day around 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I always know when it's 2 o'clock because it'll be pouring for about 5 minutes.
Got
So
it. Excellent. Who needs a watch anyway? Um, so incredible. Thank you so much. And just to share a little bit more about Michael before we get started, then. So, Michael is a whiz at all things marketing, from social media to email, text messaging, and Google ads. And throughout his career, he's managed millions of dollars in budget for both paid marketing and brands across some well known organizations. The title for today's episode is Strategies for Putting Money Behind Brand Building Campaigns. And Michael's going to show us how to do that in just 7 minutes. So, question number one today is, who are your ideal clients?
Absolutely, yeah. So our ideal clients are really just people, entrepreneurs specifically, and right.
Mhm.
And so people that are really looking to, um, they have some sort of traction in their business, but they're really trying to gain more exposure. Become that industry leader in their market, and so like that's our real ideal client. People are really just trying to, they have some success in their business, but they
Mhm.
really want to explode and get to that next level. So that
Fant-
I say is our ideal client.
Fantastic. And what would you say is typically the biggest challenge that these people face in their business?
So I'd say, I mean, there's a myriad of things, right? Everyone has their own kind of thing. A lot of the typical things that I'm seeing is just focusing on things that they're not specifically good at, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, you probably have a real specific area of genius, right? Like a specific thing back and forth, you're the expert in it. But a lot of times, what I see is people just like for ads, for example, Facebook
Mhm.
ads. You're an entrepreneur, you're an amazing coach. You're probably not good at Facebook ads,
Yeah.
especially now with
Mhm.
all the different changes that they're doing. Being able to verify your domain and
Yeah.
aggregate your events and all this other stuff. Like you should be really focusing on connections, having conversations with with new clients, right? And
Mhm.
and really just outsourcing your Facebook ads or whatever the other tasks are to people that are specific experts in that specific field. I think if like I said, if you're a coach, you're an amazing coach, you're seeing results, you're getting clients, you should really be focusing on that, bringing in revenue and letting the experts do their job, right? And so that's what I'm kind of seeing a lot.
Yeah, perfect. And I guess we get distracted by all these different things that we need to try and
Yep.
learn and then implement. So with these distractions
And
happening
not
all
only
the
that, but
time.
I mean, like they're also just like maybe they're trying to save money, but at the end of the day,
Mhm.
probably be getting more money,
Yeah.
bringing in that new client, right? Or
Yeah.
talking to like starting a conversation like, hey, we just got you some amazing results. What's three friends that you guys that can get they're looking for the same results, right?
Mhm.
And then just maybe having not an intern per se, because obviously Facebook and ads in general is really
Yeah.
something experienced, but at the end of the day, you're really losing money because you're diverting your time to where you really should be, for your business.
Yeah, perfect. Great. You answered my next question perfectly. So that's spot on. Thank you. And so the next question from me is, what is one piece of advice that you might give to somebody to really help them solve that problem?
Yep. I kind of touched on it there a little bit, but I'll kind of extrapolate onto that. Like
Mhm.
I said, especially now with everything going on. I mean, before I felt like Facebook, you can kind of maneuver, you can YouTube it, right? You can Google it. How to set up a Facebook campaign or how to set up your conversion pixel or whatever it is, right? You
Yeah.
can Google it, you can fumble your way around it, you can YouTube it, right? That's how I kind of learned in the beginning as well. Now it's a different ball game, right? It's a different ball game. I feel like it's making it a little bit harder. The entry,
Yeah.
the barrier of entry is a little bit higher at this point,
Mhm.
right? You need, like I said before, you need to aggregate your events. You need to set up your pixels. You need to it's even for me. I'm like still going. I'm going into Facebook Blueprint and like, okay, like where's all this stuff at, right?
Yeah.
And so like really just let the experts handle what they need to handle. They're experts for a reason, and you can really be bringing in revenue, bringing in new clients, focusing on your area of genius, setting up that $1 million plan. I'm sorry, schedule, CEO
Mhm.
schedule. It's kind of what we like to say in the unstoppable entrepreneur universe. let's set up that schedule for you, because that's really going to help you out, focusing what you need to do.
Amazing, fantastic. So let's think of these entrepreneurs listening to this episode right now who want to get started. What resource or guide or what could you share with them to help them get started on that journey?
I would, depends on where you are in your business, for
Hmm.
sure. If you're kind of a newer business owner, entrepreneur, I'd say Google and YouTube are your
Yeah,
best friends, honestly.
of course.
Um, Also, inside of Unstoppable Entrepreneur, we are starting up a marketing club, right? And it's for those business entrepreneurs that are really looking to gain exposure, really looking to, it's strategy based principles, right?
Right.
A lot of times what happens right now is that people are getting, shiny object syndrome, right? So they see like this new thing, and they want to start dancing and pointing and stuff like that. That's fine if like you want to do that, for sure. But there's also a strategic approach to marketing,
Yeah.
right? And so that's what we're really helping you out with. You can go to unstoppableentrepreneur.com/MMC. That'll tell you all the information on that. We got a free Facebook group on there where we go live, and our directors of marketing and myself and other people, we're just going live weekly, providing value. So that's what.
Fantastic. Excellent. So that's unstoppableentrepreneur.com/MMC. I'll also put the link in the show notes below so you can just click on that and dive right in. Next question is really about yourself, Michael. So, what would you say is one of your greatest mistakes or failures you've made either in life or business, and what did you learn from it?
I mean, these questions are so funny, right? You really got to think back about all the different
Yeah.
things and stuff like that. We can be here for hours talking about
Yeah.
that stuff. Um, but I think one thing, if you want to keep it ad specific, or
Yeah.
campaign specific, I think really just seeing that what you're doing isn't working and not making any changes. The amazing thing about Facebook, or I'm sorry, just ads in general,
Hmm.
is that you're paying to be shown, right?
Yeah.
There's SEO, there's SEM, right? And so you're paying, or pay traffic and just organic traffic. You're paying to be shown. And so if you are paying to be shown, what you're running, what you're spending money on isn't working, isn't converting, whatever your objectives are, if you're to bring in revenue, if it's to bring in leads, conversions, all that sort of stuff, if it's not working, make that change. You
Yeah.
don't need to wait till the end of the campaign. If you know midway through you spent, let's say your budget's $100,000, you spent $30,000, you're not getting the results, pivot.
Hmm.
You're paying to be shown, to be in front of people. So you have that opportunity in real time. Pause the campaign, make some tweaks, and be nimble in real time. From what I've seen before in my in previous roles and previous campaigns, we saw either the quality of leads wasn't right, we weren't getting the revenue that we needed, right? So we were underpacing as far as like our revenue objective,
Hmm.
and so really being, we saw it and we didn't do anything about it. We were just
Yeah.
hoping, like maybe it was going to turn around, maybe it was going to change. No, you see that, you see it, you can see your projections, you can forecast it. If it's not where it needs to be, pause, pivot, make some little tweaks, and go from there. I think that
Great. Perfect.
that's from what I've seen.
Yeah, and it can become really expensive really quickly if you do just let that run.
Yes.
Yeah, got it. And the final question for me today then is, what is one question that I should have asked you that will also give some great value to our audience today?
This is another good question. I would say one question that you should have asked me. It's kind of now I feel like I'm kind of contradicting myself, but
Hmm.
at the same time, you also need to be patient. You need to be you need to be situationally aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
If you're in a time crunch, if you have a 2-day sale, then obviously you need to be super nimble, right? But let's say if you're running a campaign for consults, you spend a couple $1,000. If your price point's, let's say, $30,000, you spend a couple $1,000. You don't need to freak out.
Yeah.
You can wait it out a little bit. You can spend it to $5,000, $10,000 and really learn, get some data. If you make one sale off of that budget, then you're good. And so just be situationally aware. Be patient if need be. But if you have, like I said, if you have a short window, 2-day sale, be nimble.
Yeah, of course. Perfect. Thank you so much for that advice. Really appreciate it. And Michael, thank you so much again for your time and for being here today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.